Hello, welcome to Wedding Tip Wednesdays. I've spoken previously about things to consider when picking a wedding venue, but I thought I would dive a little bit deeper into if you are looking to get a dry hire venue. That means it's just the venue. They don't include furniture, catering, all of those extra bits and bobs. I thought I would quickly run through some extra things that you may need to hire in or buy if you choose to do so, and then keep it or sell it on after your wedding. But things to think about also is, when do you get access? When can you start bringing things over or letting your suppliers or yourselves start setting up? When do you need to be out by? Do you have to do a clean yourself, or is a cleaner included in the hire price? There's something to think about. Do you need to dispose of any rubbish? Obviously not just in bins, but do you need to be emptying them? Something to consider. So dry hire venues is also something for if you're doing a marquee as well. These can all be very helpful details for that. So for marquees, do you need a floor? What's the ground like where you're setting up the marquee? If you don't want a floor, do you maybe want a dance floor? Tables, chairs. If you are doing cakes, cake tables, bar, buckets for drinks if you're doing that, or unless you've got a cool room. Do you need power generator? Do you need extra lighting? Bathroom facilities. You can get some great Dapper Dunnies, some beautiful, as well as you can get a beautiful toilet, but they are a nicer looking portaloo, so that it's just a slightly heightened experience for guests, I guess is a way to put it. What kind of food are you having? So are you having food vans or pizzas running around on trays, or are you having sit-down dinner? So therefore, do you need table linens, napkins, plates, cutlery, glassware? Do you need to have things to serve your food? Do you need tongs, salad servers, platters? Bins, always need bins. Don't forget the cool room if that's something that you're doing, or eskies, buckets of ice, all those sorts of things. Your decorations, they're something that you obviously need to think about. Are you doing extra florals? Are you doing any signage? How are you displaying that signage? Do you need an easel, or is that sitting on a table? Any additional furniture if you're doing also an outdoor area where you might put some high bar tables and chairs, wine barrels, yard games, those sorts of things. Are you also just wanting some cool lounge furniture to set aside as another little chill zone? Do you need to bring in kitchen facilities? Do you need to hire in a little small marquee or the kitchen equipment for that? Or are your caterers bringing that and including that? Or some venues do have that, but just make sure you talk with your caterer about what is and isn't included. I've obviously talked about power and lighting, heating or cooling. Is it going to be a cold day? Do you potentially do some fire pits? But do you also need heating or cooling in the venue? But also, again, make sure you're allowed to have said equipment, because that's something that you need to make sure the venue allows as well. So they're things to think about. But also, sorry, quickly with marquees, make sure if it's a big marquee, which usually they are for weddings, is the supplier will ask, can they peg into the ground, or do they need to bring cement weights? This will impact the cost, but you need to know what's under the ground. If you're doing it on family's property, make sure that there's no irrigation, electrical wires below the surface. So dial before you dig. But that's a safety thing that needs to be thought about, and a cost thing to be thinking about as well. So if you have any more questions about dry hire and events, obviously a lot of those suppliers can help you talk through those things, but they're things that you need to factor in for a budget point of view as well. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day. Thanks, and I'll see you again soon.